Hey, I'm Steven the Pet Man from Big Apple Pet Supply. What I've got here is the new Exo-Terra Smart Plants. I love these things. And the reason why I love them is because they are so natural looking. Seriously, you know, this texture is exactly like the real plants would be. At Big Apple, we kind of gave it its own name, and we kind of call it True Plant Technology because it looks so much like true plants. And so what's the big deal besides them looking about really natural and besides being only kind of plants on the market that have big leaves like this? Well, these are great for tree frogs, crested geckos. These are wonderful for crested geckos besides being for tree frogs and red-eyed tree frogs and all those different kinds of tree frogs for a number of reasons. Inside here, and we're going to show you close up, is an actual cup. And so when you're misting or when water is entering the cage, the water is stored in here. And that's great because what's going to happen is your frog or your crested gecko, if you put the crested gecko food mixture in here, is going to go in and gather the food. Basically, or if it's water, your frog is going to sit in here. And also this is a great place for your frogs to potentially reproduce and lay their eggs, because that's what they do in nature. What's neat about this whole way this product works is two things. There's wire inside each one of these, so you can actually bend it and make it look really natural. You know, you can just play around with it and decide exactly how you want it to look. But in addition to playing around with the leaves and letting them overlap with each other, which is again typical how they might sit in between the overlapping leaves and feel protected, there's also two ways. This screws in, so you can actually have this at a 45-degree angle like you see here, or we're going to unscrew this, and you can also have it at a perfectly vertical, and basically it screws into this rock base. This is very stable too. The rock is fairly heavy, so it really has some stability to this, but again, it's really cool that you can decide whether you want it 45-degree angle or whether you actually want it to go completely vertical. The other thing that I like about this is you could potentially get two of these. And so you have one vertical, and you can do, now you can do two of the big ones and not necessarily use the rock if you want to have some room saved inside your enclosure. But you can do two. You can do a small and a large, or you can do two large ones, and you can blend them together, and then you can, again, play with the leaves, get it to look, you know, natural, like the leaves would be coming out, like it would in nature. And so you can, again, you can blend this, or you can, like I said, use two big ones, use two small ones. You can do all kinds of things. But again, what I love about this is that it is so natural looking, and it really caters to tree frogs and, like I said, crested geckos. That all works great, and they look great in your cage as well. So again, also, real quick, detachable just simply by unscrewing it, and then you can take it over to your sink, clean the whole thing out if you had crested gecko food especially, but even changing the water out, easy. Take it to your sink, fill it up, do whatever you got to do, but it's remarkably easy to keep these and very natural. I just keep saying the word natural because they are so good looking. It's probably one of my favorites as far as looking good in a terrarium without being a real plant. So those are basically the dart frog ones, although, you know, they say dart frog, again, really any kind of tree frog or crested gecko works great. And these are the large ones. So this is the Schinapsis, and again, two big leaves. And what happens is you've got this wire, so you can either go like a straight up kind of thing in your enclosure and play with it and make it all kinds of different ways depending how it might look good in your enclosure. But you can also droop these, and you can put them one on top of the other. And what happens with tree frogs is, typical of tree frogs is, they'll hang out in here in between where they have some shade and sort of feel comfortable. But they also, a lot of tree frogs like to hang out underneath. They attach themselves underneath the leaf, and that helps them with security and feeling right. You can also put this over water, and that's, in nature, frogs reproduce on leaves that are above water. So you can reproduce what goes on in nature to help your frogs actually produce more frogs. So, and then again, this is the philodendron, and this is just, it's similar to this, but obviously you see there's a different design. They all have that wire background, so you can play around with them, get them into a position that you think works best in your terrarium. I mean, as you can tell, I'm really excited about this product because I think it's one of the, they call it Smart Plant, I think it is one of the smartest products that's been invented specifically for making your terrarium look natural, but also a real practical method. So I won't say any more. You can tell I'm really excited about the product. This is available in Reptile supplies, in our section that has to do with all our habitat furnishings. So if you go to Habitat Furnishings, you'll find it there at bigapplepetsupply.com. You'll also can just type in the word Smart Plant into our search engine on our website, and these will all pop up. I'm Stephen the Pet Man from Big Apple Pet Supply. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I thank you for watching.